Hi, I'm Mac McCarthy, and I help people with their breakups. And today we have a couple different topics. I'm going to do something a little bit different in this live stream. I'm actually going to discuss a story that was sent in the comments of one video and a question that was sent in to the comments. Thanks for the like already. So, anyone that comes on deck right now, we already got two people. I have some questions above here, which will be topics: friend zone. How do you know that's what they want? How do you deal with an ex that wants to be friends? That's a typo. My fault. Uh, how do you know an LTR is over? And how do you know a marriage is over? So these are questions that were asked in a comment. Um, So I'm going to go into those, and then anyone that wants to make comments along the way, thanks for joining in already. Nike One and Dylan. Um, I'll come back to that. So this is going to be a little bit different today. So this is actually a story that was put in the comments. Hi Mac, it is always good to see you. I love your videos. Thank you for your good work. It's been 5 months since my boyfriend broke up with me. We are both 35 years old, so the age is the same, which helps. Right after the breakup, I did not contact him for 44 days, and he called me, and I lost control of my emotions to the point he blocked me. After that, I lost my hopes of getting back together. So if someone was in no contact, they were hoping to get back together. I started not contact for the second time. In that time, I focused more on my personal growth. Outstanding, as I like to say. Another 44 days passed when my ex called me. So 44 is a lucky number for this individual. When my ex called, I've never seen that before. Put that one on a lotto ticket today, folks. Another 44 days passed when my ex called me, desperate, confessing that he loves me. Okay, anytime someone comes back to you desperate, you might want to skirt the brakes. We were together for 18 months in a long distance relationship where we saw each other at least twice a month. We live 5 hours apart driving. We can't afford to travel by plane, so it's super exhausting to drive. So that's an issue you're not going to overcome anytime soon. It's something you have to deal with. But as I always say, long distance relationships have a shelf life. And if you can't fix those kinds of problems, eventually someone's going to meet someone else or just get tired of the situation because that's a huge hurdle to deal with. We have continued talking. We are not officially a couple again. So, right there, that's your clarity. You're telling me officially you're not boyfriend, girlfriend. Who does that benefit? And is that what you really want? Is the question to ask. I'm afraid he is friend zoning me. Well, he's doing that to you. No, you're a part of that. If you know that you're not officially together, then right now you are officially friends with benefits, long distance friends with benefits, exes with benefits, but you're not together. And the idea that he's doing that to you is defeating you. And you need to get up off the mat and go on offense and actually ask the question, hey, I want to get back together officially. We've been seeing each other. It's been going pretty well. And then you gotta make the bridge to figure out what's going to go on with the long distance relationship. On 3 different occasions, he called me a friend. Okay, and what did you say when he called you a friend? Did you just let it go? Or are you waiting for him to change his mind? You need to address it and say, hey, wait a minute. Why are you calling me a friend? At some point, you need to address that if that's bothering you. Don't be a victim. This week, we will meet halfway to have dinner. He texts me every day. We saw each other 2 weeks ago. I went to his house and I stayed at his house for one night. We slept in the same bed, but we did not make love. We agreed that I would go again. I'm going back in 10 days to stay with him during the weekend. Well, the fact that you guys slept together, didn't take it to the next level, says that you're more like friends than together. If that's something you're holding back till you're together, because if you're in a long distance relationship, wouldn't that be something you'd want to do when you see each other? I do not know if I should have the conversation about our status. You absolutely should, because you're writing someone like me. So it's on your mind, it's gnawing at you, it's bugging you, and it's going to erupt at some point. I know he is not seeing someone else. How do you know that? I didn't ask, but last time I was at his home, he said nobody slept in his bed since we broke up. Okay, well, he said it felt weird to have someone in his bed. He didn't want me to stay in the couch because it's not comfortable to sleep. We had a great time the last time we were together. He cooked me dinner and breakfast. We watched a movie together and talked the whole time. He's working a lot, starting his new business. I decided to go out and a date with someone else that I like. I'm confused. It sounds like you're confused. Bottom line is, if you guys want to take things slow, getting back together, seeing each other long distance, that's just fine. But you need to be crystal clear on your intentions and the idea that right now, if you're in the quote unquote friend zone, you need to be upfront about that if that's not okay with you or that's not your goal. Because now that you've seen each other a few times and it's going really, really slow, or you need to be upfront about the fact that you're seeing someone else and you're keeping your options open, which is completely in your right if you're not officially together. So I don't think you're confused. If I was in your situation, I'd be open to seeing other people, but someone at some point is going to get hurt because you're in a gray area more than a friend zone where you're kind of like, are we together? Are we not together? You should officially be together. And the fact that you are sleeping together but not sleeping together, that says something. I don't know if I should let my ex go or start over with someone new. That's something you have to answer for yourself. The idea that you're letting them go or you're moving on. Reframe that to I'm going to move on to a situation that's more clear and suits my needs. And someone that actually lives in my area code is what I would add. Please help. What should I do? I love him like a friend too. He always adds to my life. If you love him like a friend, you're actually saying that you want to keep him in the friend zone. You're open to seeing other people. At this point, it doesn't seem ideal to be in a long distance relationship where you both have to drive halfway to see each other. That's not going to last. It's always going to be a albatross on your neck in the relationship. So I would say in the future, whoever you're dating should be in your area code or 30, 40 minutes away. And also, if you like the person as a friend and you want to keep them as a friend, that's fine. But define what are friends and what is getting back together and have that conversation with them. So I hope that helps you. So that was the first story right there, folks. So this is a little different approach I've taken. This was a story that was in the comments in regards to friend zones. So one more comment that was made on this same video. How do you know when it's definitely time to leave your marriage? This is 1980 Deanne. Assuming you were born in 1980, Deanne. Leaving and sharing custody of my kids makes me so sick and uneasy. So that when you ask a broad general question like, how do you know when it's definitely time to leave your marriage? Only you know that. But I would say this, once the topic of divorce comes up, that usually is the beginning of the end, because you shouldn't be just throwing around divorce um, as a way of getting someone upset or stirring a conversation. When you're married, that's a serious thing. And I'll take it a step further. When you're in a serious relationship long term, the idea of bringing up a breakup, to me, is the beginning of an end. Unless it's something that's a fixable problem that's very clear in how to fix it and it's being fixed. If it's issues that keep coming up over and over again and you really know deep down inside they're not going to be fixed, well, that's the time when you don't have confidence that the problems are going to change or be fixed. So that's the end of my responses there. Thanks for hanging on here. Okay, thank you very much, Nike One, for the like. You were first on deck. Be gone, Singapore's finest. Nice to see you, bud. Dropping by to say hi. What's up, Jamesy? Little James Kavanaugh, JC, the bigger figure. My ex said I was her best friend, but she wasn't asking to stay friends. She knew I'm not that dumb, and a relationship is over the day of the breakup. Anything else is coping. Yeah, without yeah, anything. I don't know if coping. Yeah, I guess so. I think that certainly there are particular cases where people know it's the beginning of the end and they've been together a long time. And in those cases where people have been together 5, 6 years, but the last year has been really shitty or distant, and I don't even mean long distance, I just mean that the connection's been lacking, that they can easily slide into being friends because they've been friends for a year. So it depends on how the relationship ended and how both parties feel. It's not so cut and dry. In your particular case, James, the way you've put it, it was very clear to you that it was done, and I'm just fine with that. If you don't like the way the breakup ended, let me put it this way to make it more clear. If you don't like the way it ended, it left a bad taste in your mouth, you're pissed off, you feel cheated, well, then you can't be friends. If you break up amicably, if you break up in a position where you go, let's agree to disagree, and you both agree you could be friends and you don't have any expectations further than that, then it's possible. Does that happen sometimes? Yeah. Does it happen often? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if there's a study for that. Mahid Balauri. Hey, coach, meet a girl at the gym, talk twice. Second time we meet and talked, we agreed to do circuits together. She waited 30 minutes for me to finish my weights. Interesting. We did circuits and I asked her for a coffee. She said she is not completely single, living with a partner and kind of not together, but together? Your opinion, please. I don't understand, dude. I don't understand it completely, but it sounds like she's not available. And she could be passive aggressive and just not wanting to tell you no and be rude. But if she agrees to get the coffee, maybe you can take it a step further and find out what she means by she's with a partner, but she's not with a partner, and what's going on. She'll probably divulge what's going on with that person. And um, probably there's a lot of smoke still going on with what she's dealing with. So whatever you get into with this woman, Majid or Mahid, um, there's going to be the relationship or this partner she's living with lingering. So you're going to have to deal with a little bit of baggage, it sounds like. That being said, going out and having an innocent coffee with someone you met at the gym, digging a little deeper to find out where it leads, no problem there. Just have low expectations, try to build a connection. And if it doesn't work out, you got someone that's at the gym that's a friend now. They come back, it's because life without you never seemed to be the way they imagine. Ill record S. I don't know if I've seen you on before. Ill record SCPT. Interesting name. Yeah, I would say that that's true in some cases. Make sure you hit that like button. Right on, Hooper 502. He's on deck. Hope you did some research on possible destinations to travel to or move to. I was thinking about that yesterday too. I was in the car ride. I was thinking about you, Hooper. I'm like, we need to talk about. You're 27 years old, dude. Look up Hooper. Look up. Kind of interesting. When I was 28 and I went through my bad breakup, this called Saturn's Return. This has something to do with the stars and all that other kind of stuff. I'm not big on all that. You can agree or disagree, but there's an interesting thing about when you turn 27, 28 about it has something to do with the stars and astronomy and all this other stuff. But it basically says that's when you become a real adult in your late 20s. And if you're not where you want to be, it's going to be tough, but it's a time to take some inventory and know where you want to be. So maybe you want to research Saturn's return yourself. It's kind of interesting if you're 27, 28 years old. Being friends with an ex after a breakup is ludicrous to me. Friends don't just walk out of your life. They likely aren't treating you like a friend should. Again, agree in your case, James. If you got a bad taste in your mouth and you had a bad breakup, or you felt like something went wrong and it wasn't your fault, whatever it may be, then you can't be friends. If you want to be with them still and they want to break up, then you can't be friends. If you both kind of are in a good place and you kind of had a stagnant relationship, or how many people do you know that have relationships where you go, it seems like they're just friends? Well, then it's easier for them to slide into that. Ideally, the second your partner leaves, you should come up to grips with the fact that the relationship is completely dead. That's very difficult, James. I think that that's ideal. I'll agree with you on that level, but to just come up with, if you've been in a relationship 4 or 5, 6 years, to just think it's dead. I think what races through your mind is it's still alive most of the time. I think you're questioning that, but to come to grips with that is difficult. I guess putting it in that term, come to grips with it, is that you're dealing with it. I couldn't be friends with an ex-lover personally unless there has been a long amount of time that's passed in between, and I've done the work to come from a place of indifference with that person. Wow, indifference, like I said, no expectations. And I'd agree, yeah, you want to be in that position where you're no longer judging them as someone that you want to get intimate with, right? Or that you want to have as your quote unquote girlfriend or marriage material. Because let's face it, what's the difference between having a good friend and having a girlfriend? It's a big difference, right? Especially with the time involved in it, right? Unless it's friends with benefits, and everyone has their own filter on what a good relationship is. So, when should you be the first to leave a relationship? When you have exhausted every option of working things out and your partner isn't communicating that they are trying to change. Or you're not willing to change some of the things your partner wants you to change. So sometimes people, they have these problems. Someone doesn't like what you do and you don't think it's a problem, or it's not something that you want to change about yourself. So sometimes you need to take direct, it's not always the other person, right? Ill recordist, nothing ever works out of the way we think it is. Going the road we paved for ourselves is far different than the one that's already paved for us. Well, there's also that statement out there that we make plans and God laughs. So I've heard that one quite a bit before, and I think that's true. I don't know if that's wholly religious, but you know what I mean by that. You think you have, people go, well, we had all these plans. Well, I mean, just because you had plans doesn't mean they're going to work out and something's not going to come up. A relationship is totally done if serious boundaries have been crossed. That's true. If your boundaries have been crossed, usually hard to reconcile things like that. Yeah, and if they're very strict boundaries, there's certain things like no way, right? Like if I had a girlfriend and she hooked up with one of my really good friends, dust would hurt. It would be done, but it would be done. How are you going to overcome that? Some people do, because some people are like, well, it was just one time. They were drunk. Some people can validate it. My ex lives across the country, and I'm going to fly out to get my stuff back next week. Keeps messaging me about it, even though I'm trying to do no contact. Should I even respond? Well, I mean, is it possible for you not to have to fly out there? Is it possible for them to ship it to you? I mean, just giving you another option. And keeps messaging about it, even though I'm trying to. Well, right now, you can, if you have a computer and you have some valuable things that you want to collect and you want to be civil in the situation, I have no problem, and you should have no problem saying like, well, I have to get my things back. So in order to get my things back, I need to be civil with this person. You don't need to be fake. You don't need to be a jerk, but you just need to be direct. Like, hey, I'm going to get my stuff 10 a.m. on Saturday. Can I meet you here? Make your plans. If things aren't good between the both of you and you have a lot of friction, then do your best not to be in contact with each other if it's going to create an issue. If they can leave the bag or the box of things somewhere where you can just collect them, or if you can make it really short and sweet and just grab your things, right? If they're holding your stuff hostage, that's a whole nother case. I still think that even if the breakup was easy and amicable, one person will likely still have some lingering attachment attraction that will ultimately make a friendship impossible. But not all, yeah, like I said, not always. And that's the thing. What we do is we project what happened in our relationships as being the general rule of thumb, and I don't think that's always true. And in this particular case, you know, one person will likely have some lingering attachment or attraction. Usually, yes, one person gets caught holding the bag. And throughout all relationships, one person cares less about the relationship. It's really difficult for both people to be like, I'm 100% in at all times. There's usually someone that cares a little bit less, and they usually control the relationship. And that's usually the person that cares more at the end of the breakup, gets hurt more. Current situation right now, if you desire that person sexually, which is an ex, you can't be friends with that person unless you want to be friends with benefits. Have you had friends with benefits before? Or a booty call? I don't believe in being friends with women I find attractive for that reason, let alone exes. Um, I mean, it depends on what class of friends. I mean, I've certainly had friends that are women that I work with because we work together. We're in the trenches together, and I find them attractive at times. So I wouldn't just X them out because of that reason. Um, but the thing that's tough about exes, the longer you were together, the more you shared. And if they said something that's lingering on you at the end, it is difficult to be friends because you have a totally separate set of expectations and level of care with them. So I'll give you an example that's really interesting about this. It's like I've had friends in the past, a friend in the past that, well, he's still a friend, but we're long distance friends because I don't see him very often. He lives far away from where I live, but really good friend. He had a really serious drinking problem, and but when we were young in our 20s, it was like fun because he was fun to drink with, but he'd disappear. He had a couple drunk driving, so he had problems with it. He struggled with it, and he would drink too much. But as a friend, it was good fun. Now, if that was my girlfriend that was drinking that way, it wouldn't be okay because I have a deeper care for that person. And looking back, that friend of mine, when you're young like that, his family would be really worried about him going out, and you wouldn't even worry in the same way because as a friend, it's, how should I say, it's less care about their well-being. And that sounds shitty because now I'd say, I'd stop talking and say, and I'm like, he's a man, he's an adult, and he makes his own decisions, and I'm not going to change his mind. But if that was my girlfriend, I'd be like, no, you can't be keeping up drinking like this because it's a reflection of you too, with the people you're with. Your buddy getting drunk and having fun and making some mistakes, you're not happy about it. And you might have a couple talks with them, but it's much different than when you treat the way you treat your girlfriend in the same position. Correct me if I'm wrong. She's messing me. I don't believe in being friends with a woman. She's messaged me about it even though I can't do anything until I get there. Well, tell her what you just told me. Look, you can continue messaging me. That's up to you. That's your prerogative. I'm busy right now with work. I can't do anything till I get there, and I'm coming XYZ time. I'll be in contact. I'll let you know as soon as I get there. I know this is difficult for you. It's difficult for me also. Breakups are never fun, but I am going to get my stuff because it is my stuff. And at that point, we can have a civil conversation if you like or not. But until I get there, I don't think we need to keep going through that. You have my stuff. And if she keeps it up, say, hey, look, put it in a box, leave it here. Put it in a box, put it at a mutual friend's house. Put it in a box and send it to me. Those are your other options. Once you can get to a place with an ex and realize that they can't ever give you what you want out of a romantic partner, that's when you can look at the situation as a possible friendship. Okay. You said that sometimes the no contact is not working well and other options are better. Would you recommend me to break no contact every 5 months? You said that sometimes the no contact is not working well and other options are better. I don't know, Leonardo, I don't know your specific situation. I know that I think you said you sent your story, but I don't have it off the top of my head. So I have to know I need to know specifically what happened to give you a tailored response about if you should break no contact. If you've been in no contact for 5 months, I'd keep riding that train. I mean, if they haven't contacted you in 5 months and you haven't contacted them, um, then I'd stay there. If you really want to contact your ex after 5 months, just like Nike One just said, go into it with an indifferent mindset. In other words, you're calling them up just to see how things are going, not to get them back. You're calling them up to say, hey, how's things going? But most of the time that doesn't work. You just gave away your cards at the poker table saying you're interested again. And somehow just lines up with humans. Usually it's a turnoff. If she's in a vulnerable state or she's missing you, she could say, oh, I was thinking of you too, and I'd like to meet up for coffee. But if she doesn't, Leonardo, you just went back to ground zero from where you started with 5 months of no contact. So I would stick with 5 months of no contact. And if they want to contact you, it's a bonus. Keep it moving. Yeah, I had friends with benefits. She turned into my girlfriend, and then she became my current ex. Laugh my ass off. See? I mean, I don't have a problem with friends with benefits if you guys are clear. And a lot of times friends with benefits can become something. And shit, when I was younger, I mean, it seems ideal, right? If you want to play the field and you want to go out and stuff, I mean, but someone's going to cop feelings eventually and call the other person out. But it's a nice way to start. And let's face it, before you get together, you are friends with benefits, right? If you're dating and seeing each other until you become official, that's what it is. I have, and someone always catches feelings, always, whether it's you or them. Absolutely, it's fucking human nature. And usually, the person that catches them is the one that's chasing, and people usually take advantage of that too. If you're someone, especially a guy, especially a younger guy in his 20s, if he has the opportunity to have a woman with friends and benefits, it's called have your cake and eat it too. They're probably going to take that option. And sleeping with an ex good if you want them back. Is sleeping with an ex good if you want them back? Well, it's a start, isn't it? I think if your ex is willing to sleep with you, they still have serious feelings for you, and there's an opportunity to definitely get back together. If you're sleeping with them with the intention or the ideal that this means you're back together, then that'll fuck you up mentally. And I've talked to people that have done this. Many times where they're like, "Oh, we slept together," and the next day I was like, "So are we back together or not together?" And all of a sudden that she's like, "What? What are you talking about? We just had a good time last night and we reconnected and we're going into this." So if you're gonna sleep together, be in that present moment and enjoy it, but don't push things or bring up old shit from the breakup that's gonna ruin that moment. Because when you're getting back together, you're trying to recreate connection, you're trying to recreate trust and attraction, and recreating it is starting over again rather than building on what you had before, if that makes sense in most cases. um Stay in contact if you still want that person as a love interest. If you're still interested in that person, don't do it. Like, you won't preach on. There was an imbalance in mine. I had more feelings than him. Actually, it's not really an imbalance, Monica. It's quite normal. It's kind of like having one foot a little bit bigger than the other. Everyone has it. And every relationship there is someone, it's very difficult to have both people feel the exact same level of feelings in my book. There's always someone, if it's a high imbalance, then yes. But if it's slight, um, it happens. There's always someone that cares a little bit less, and that changes. The tables flip. Someone will go through something, like let's say someone loses a job or they lose a family member, and all of a sudden they become more needy based on that thing. Then all of a sudden the relationship will flip, and they'll have more time to be with you, and you'll be like, what just happened? Now you're so available, and it might throw you off. But the idea that it's a complete imbalance, it's very, very common. When it gets to a level where it's like this, you know, then it's bad. But if it's like that and it's fleeting, one person will care more in certain instances or certain parts of their life, right? If someone gets a new job and they're working 60 hours a week, the other person might be like, oh, you don't care about me anymore. Well, no, I just make out of the pie that is my energy and my willpower. I'm going to put 60 hours in a week and at work. I might have 10 left over for you on the weekend. That's not personal. That's priorities and values. I don't fully understand how women can monkey branch so easily, not even for my situation, but others I've been seeing as well. Well, guys monkey branch just as often, so it's not a woman thing. One day the girl is telling her boyfriend how much she loves him, and then the next she's saying she loves someone new. Doesn't make sense to me at all. It doesn't have to make sense to you, but it's completely normal human behavior to find attraction in someone else and leave. As you know, just like it is in the animal community of monkeys. Doesn't make it feel. It's not going to make you feel better, but it is actually normal behavior that someone can meet someone at work, someone can meet someone on the subway, someone can meet someone and make eye contact at the coffee shop, and it's over. My mom was just telling me a story a couple days ago that um, she knew someone that their parents are married for 25, 30 years, just someone she went to high school with. And the parents are married for 25, 30 years, seemed like they had a really good marriage. They went to a high school fucking reunion, a 25-year high school reunion. The mom met up with her ex-boyfriend from high school and left the dad. Is that monkey branching? I don't know. But so in that, and she was like, everyone was shocked. Does it fucking happen? Yes. It's more common than you think, right? And people are changing relationships more than ever. And I've told you this before. Look at the iPhone. There's fucking 15 of them. What do they all? I mean, what do you have a phone for, a smartphone for now? To call people, to use the internet, to check your Facebook, right? Basically, right? That's a basic use for them. Those are the things that you basically use a phone for. You take pictures, and there's just a little bit each time you get a new iPhone, like an iPhone 5, iPhone 6. Oh, if I asked you what's better about this one, you're gonna like, oh, the weight's a little bit better. Oh, the battery life's a little bit better. Not double, not 100% better. It's like 10% better battery. Oh, the camera's got fucking 8,000 megapixels, and the older one had 5,000 megapixels. Do you really notice? No. What is it? It's a fucking upgrade. And what is shoved down your throat in consumer-based countries? Upgrade, 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 if possible. If you have the ability and if you have the money, you can buy an iPhone new every time. And now some people, oh, I don't like iPhones. You know what I'm talking about, though. If you don't like iPhones, then don't take this example. But anything in any ability to upgrade in a consumer-based society, which is a lot of Western culture, is like that. And it's bleeding over into relationships. And that's what's happening. Someone's not sticking with what they have because they're going, grass is greener. I can upgrade. I can do better. I have more feelings. It's just the reality of things right now. Ever since no contact with my ex, I'm going to find someone better than her. I was going to ask one of my friends out because I could tell she liked me big time, and she showed me every time we hung out. The idea that you're going to find someone better than your ex is a little bit vengeful. I would say that you're going to, instead of thinking about someone better, write out and get the ideal woman in your head of who you'd really like to be with. Nothing to do with your ex, nothing to put them down, nothing to make that negative, because that was what it was, and it was good for when it was good. And instead of doing better, maybe fit more of your ideals. Because what does that mean? When you search out something, right? It's like when you're searching out a car and you go, I want a four-wheel drive, I want good gas mileage, I want room for seven. You get specific. You don't just go, oh yeah, I want a better car than I want now. That doesn't really narrow it down. You know what I'm saying? You got to get specific about what you want. And writing it out might help you. And then when you come across things, you're like, no, that one doesn't check the boxes. My problem is I'm very black and white. I'm all in or I'm all out. I need to be less invested and let things ride. Yeah, okay, but black and white is sometimes good because I mean sometimes people complain that they're in the gray area too much. To make decisions is big. Commit or not commit. I don't know if that's a problem, Monica. That can serve you in a good way. It's like someone told me they had OCD. Um, they were telling me they didn't want to talk to me about that problem. I'm like, all right. I'm like, but first of all, don't look at it as such a horrifying, horrible problem. And the guy had finished school and he had like a, I don't know, like a 3.8 or a 3.9 GPA, had really good grades in college. I'm like, your OCD probably helped that. He goes, it absolutely used to. So anything that you look at duality wise, the fact that you are black and white about things, you're all in or you're all out, that could be actually an asset in your character. But don't and you've come across that using that way of thinking because it served you in the past. So individual cases, look at it as if, am I being too black and white? Is this not serving me? Because in the past it served you in other areas, probably, such as work. So you picked a job or a field and you were like, I'm all in. You went through, the 6 years of school. You went through the bad jobs before you got the good job. That served you to be black and white then and not be in a gray area. See what I'm saying? So it's not all bad. It's hard, but mimicking someone else's actions is the best place to be. Best place to be. They show up, call, text, do the same, but minute. It's hard, but mimicking someone else's actions is the best place to be. They show up, call, text, do the same, but the minute they stop their efforts, stop yours as fast as they did my actions. How I treat someone is a direct reflection of how they're treating and showing up for me. That can be true, but I will say this, Nike One. Why not be first? Why not be the leader and how they're going to treat you? So sometimes that is absolutely true. Usually people are reciprocal. If you treat them well, they'll treat you well. But I like the idea that if you're in the position to lead, do the good deed first, right? If you're in a situation, it's like they had someone, I forgot where I saw this on a YouTube video or somewhere, and the guy was um, some kind of monk, a Buddhist monk, and he worked at a university. He's supposed to be the happiest soul in the world. He's from France or something like that. And they took him and they put him in a room with a miserable guy that had worked at a university. And they wanted to do, this guy, he rubbed everyone the wrong way. Everyone said he was an asshole. And what the monk did was just sat there with him with a glazed smile and didn't get upset and continued to, you know, conversate with the guy until he brought the guy to his level. And the guy ended up assimilating the other guy that was happy, the happy monk, because he couldn't overcome the fact that this guy was so nice and so happy. Could be a case of narcissism, normal with the social media, new generation. What's up, brand new Skinner? If you do meet with your ex, don't assume you back together. I would agree. My ex told someone like me is hard to find yet. I'm sorry, wait. Love is strong emotion, coach. That's proved 25 years later that man made that woman feel something emotionally that she's probably never felt since his woman's emotions are what they run on make her. Okay. My ex told me someone like me is hard to find. He left. Well, don't take it personal. Sometimes people don't like good things. Sometimes people don't think they deserve the best. Sometimes people meet someone and they go, "You're too good for me." So it's might have been doing you a favor, Monica. Feel something she's never felt before, and they'll always try to find a way back. 25 years. That's proof. Okay. Hey, coach, been a while. Oh, it's Josh. Who? How's things going with you got the ex that has a kid, if I remember correctly, and you guys started dating again. So I hope you're doing well, Josh. Who? What's up, Serby? with the 26-year-old girlfriend, the dude that's in his 40s, Pasadena's finest, Rose Bowl. Just thought I'd drop on some love, show some love. Right on, Serby. Well, I was gonna ask that friend out. She's taken now because we had more in common with each other and spent more time together than what I got to do with my ex. I did my ex. I decided to develop a crush on her, but she was showing that she liked me and started to get really annoying after a while. Well, if it's annoying at the beginning, then it's gonna be annoying later on, dude. So that's a red flag. If someone's annoying you when you first start having a crush on them, as you said, or you first start dating them, or you first start liking them, that's before the honeymoon phase. If not in a place to give myself to someone 100%, I won't entertain it. If it's something worth doing, it's worth overdoing, and love is something worth doing. Gospel. Drop the mic, Nike One. Yeah, and that's just a statement where you're at right now as yourself, Nike One. You're all in or you're all out. You're 100% all in on love. And if you were talking to me when you were 21, 22, 24, it might be different, right? And that's just timing and circumstance. And you're in a position right now where you want a long-term relationship that you can work on, right? Both. And you'll get it, bud. You're in a really good place, Nike One. I mean, shit, man, the shit you're preaching and stuff you're doing out there, it's gonna find you, bro. People that ditch their relationship for the newest upgrade are dooming themselves. Life has a way of punishing people who aren't grateful for what they have. Interesting. Interesting, James. That sounds directed at an individual. Um, I mean, upgrades can be good. You got my point though, James, about what like the way society is. And to say that if someone upgrades a way of punishing people who aren't grateful for what they have, I don't know. I do believe in karma and I do believe in what goes around comes around, but I will say this, there is no time on that. So in other words, if people are building a case of why they deserve bad karma, doesn't necessarily mean they're going to get bad karma in a year or 6 months. It could be 10 years down the road. But shit evens out at some point. And I think that even good people that have bad things happen to show them that they can, right? I mean, even the people with the best intentions and do really good things out there that work for charities and do things, they have demons and they have shit that happens. Does that mean that they deserved it? I don't know. It's an interesting question. There was a YouTube video where they did ayahuasca and stuff, and this guy said, you ask a question when you do ayahuasca, and you see the spirit God and all that other stuff. And he said that he asked, why do bad things happen to good people? And he said that the spirit God told him everything equals out eventually. So I thought that was pretty interesting. The guy was like, oh, that was such a realization. Makes sense that everything divinely is put together in the right way. All right, Josh, you have a good memory, huh? Correct. We are official. She's been finding validation with everyone. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? And everyone is very supportive, but we kind of have a problem. She's pregnant, and it may be from her secret relationship. Wow. That well, let's unpack that a little bit, Josh. Who, since you've been on the live stream before, I'm going to give you a little extra time on this because this is a serious situation. You're divulging to a live stream audience. Um, How do you feel about that? Are you willing to go through to the end with her? Does she want you to be supportive of it? If it's not your baby, is that okay? Shit, man, there's a lot of things running through your head with that. You certainly already have taken on the task of she has a kid already, and you're okay with that. Um, but it might be yours also. I mean, you can't know until the baby's born, correct? And where's this other guy in the picture? You got a lot of shit, Josh. So you might want to do a live coaching session to talk about this one, dude. A lot to unpack there. But I would say, looking at it as a completely negative thing, I don't know. We could reframe some things and figure out where you're headed. But that's an interesting dilemma there. I watched your video last night about moving on. I'm waiting for a sign. I know it will hurt, but it's what I need to move on. Well, I'm not guaranteeing that works. I don't know how that happened or if that was destiny or the universe. I don't know, but it did happen. And other people have told me it's happened to them before. So that video, people always comment, you know that video you made? Now it's like in the Rolodex of 500 videos, so people don't come across it as much. I should feature it actually because I think it's probably the best video as far as storytelling goes. I think it's called When You're Done or something. Maybe I'll post that another time for you guys and talk about that whole situation in a live stream. Karma doesn't forget an address. Survey, you know. I know. Shit, I've had karma affect me in my life. I'm no saint in my life, you know what I mean? So a lot of people go around pointing the finger. Everyone's done some things that they're not proud of. Someone says, "Well, actually, it's like bullshit, dude." Um, It's when you start to realize, all right, I want to live with some virtue and some honesty and do the right thing. And then it starts to feel damn good. And things do start working out in your favor when that happens. I think James is right. Believe in karma. I like that. Karma doesn't forget an address. I like that. Sabina SB, I don't know if I've seen you before. Welcome to the chat. It's going to be cut short. I do have an appointment in about 10 minutes today. Unfortunately, this is one of the best ones I've had. We got 17 people on deck. Damn it. 10 minutes. Yeah, I got to talk. If someone says you're good to them, they don't deserve you. That's just a reflection of where they are emotionally and mentally. They just haven't done the work to get themselves in a healthy place. Okay. We have a child together. So, sure, in the end, I still want us to have a good relationship. Well, you have, well, I mean, I don't want to, there's rarely a time when I say you have to, but you got to make your relationship work on a cordial and civil level if you have a kid together. That's not a, that has less to do with you two and more to do with the fact of your duty as parents, right? But for now, it's hard for me just to be friends. She still wants us to do family stuff. To do family stuff, but you're not intimately together, that would be fucking tough. So what you need to do, Mr. Raltos one, I'm sorry, or my suggestion would be um, figure out some creative ways that don't cross that line and make it difficult for yourself. That you're like, look, I'm going to do the best I can as a father and be creative with those ways. But let her know it makes me uncomfortable at this point to do that. And if it's crossing a line and it's affecting who you are and how you feel, um, being around her and doing family stuff, and all the while she's catpawing you and saying like, "Oh, I don't really want a relationship," then don't do it. You can still be a good father and a single father and do the best you can without doing family stuff with her while she's keeping you at a distance. The question is, do you want to get back with her, and are you using that as a tactic? But what if it? I mean, if you're trying to get back together, then you guys should have individual time to reconnect rather than just have the kid with you. But what if it doesn't come back around? I don't know. I don't know what you're asking. Steven, haven't seen you for a while, buddy. What's up, coach? 5-year relationship broke up. She came back around. We have been taking things one day at a time. Though we aren't boyfriend and girlfriend currently, we haven't been intimate, but I don't feel in the friend zone. Well, that means that you're building a connection. You're probably taking things slow. You're in the present moment. Seems like you're in a good place right now. You're not overly invested. You should still be considering spinning other plates, talking to other women, maybe not necessarily dating. Um, don't put a lot of pressure on the situation. If you guys were together 5 years and you're revisiting a new relationship, have fun. Try to build some new things and don't bring up the past. And if there's something in the past that happened, uh, make sure that it's either been fixed or it's being worked on or you're at peace with it. If that makes sense, Steven. Steven, you're from Germany, if I remember correct, right? Soistman? Don't do it. Be friends with your ex. Okay. That's from Josh, who had it work for him. Um, meant to put started, and then was she showed like me that she hugged me to death whenever we hung. She called me her cuddly teddy bear. I didn't care that she hugged me because I hugged her back. Okay, Dylan, good for you. Had a recent ex tell me she doesn't deserve me, and with some time apart, she's probably right because when we were where we are at in life with our personal growth is light years apart. Well, if that's your opinion, then you need to keep on moving until you find someone that sees the same light year as you are. Uh, Man, Joshua, you got a situation. You have a situation and you got some decisions to make, my friend. Um, Life's a roller coaster. Damn, that's a story. You got a ton of shit going through my head. LOL. At least you can laugh about it. Humor helps, dude. Her first ultrasound is on 10th. That will give both of us a truth on who it is based on how far along she is. And the other dude is gone. He refuses. Well, I guess you have no competition on that. I guess you gotta wait till the baby's born to do the test to see if it's yours or not yours. Does she have a hunch of who it is? We all got skeletons in our closet. Fuck yeah, we do. She then started sexting me a few times and I didn't ask for it. Okay. My ex-husband got a so-called upgrade and now he's realizing my value 7 years later. Well, karma does have an address. Um, I in long-term marriages, when someone has a so-called upgrade and it's someone younger and they're with them maybe for the wrong reasons, a lot of times it doesn't work and there's regret set in. Thanks, new live stream, but watch videos before. Great job. Thanks, Sabina. Good morning, Gabby. All my friends tell me my ex downgraded. I'm not saying I'm Brad Pitt, but this dude is goofy looking guy. It almost hurts worse knowing she left me for someone less attractive. It almost makes me feel like she was really unattractive to me. Don't read too much into that. Attraction is an opinion. She might have been attracted to his personality, his wallet, where he's headed. I don't know. Could be many different things. But the bottom line is, if people are saying you're better looking, that's a plus for you. And I don't think it would make you feel better if the guy was better looking than you. I think women think that way more than men. But bottom line is, if you got that confidence and other people are saying, that's a fucking plus. Shooting for them stars and nothing less. Fantastic advice, coach. No, not from Germany. Live in live in Baltimore. Be more just German last name. Okay. Monica Harrington. Nothing in life ever works out the way we think it's going to. Like I said, we make plans and God laughs. I've heard that quote before many times. Someone that had a breakup said that. This is going really well today, but unfortunately, like I said, he's of a different ethnicity. We could do a paternity test while the baby is in the womb. Well, that would be you want to know as soon as possible. Um, we will have to wait 3 more weeks, but it's 2,000 USD. So either that or wait. Well, if you don't have the 2 grand, you don't have the 2 grand. It doesn't sound like that dude's gonna pay, but I definitely would want to fucking know if you're gonna be riding with her through the pregnancy. I might even get a loan for something like that. Thanks again, Matt. Keep it up. Oh, no worries, Hooper. Coach Mac the snack. Peace, bro. Well, I'm out of bed. Can't wait till the next stream. Catch you later. No problem, guys. Gotta run. It's been good. I might come back on today. This was really nice. This maybe is a better time slot for everyone because I had 18 people on deck compared to 7 or 8 yesterday. So wish you all well. If I'm feeling it, maybe in another hour I might come back on. But otherwise, catch you on the other side, folks.